Hello, guys. Sorry, I needed to wipe my little doohickey thingamajig. Um, God, I really just channeled my grandfather. Okay, let's do this. So today's video is going to be about oils and mixing them however you want, and there's going to be a couple of bases that you can use. And I'm going to also give you a few book suggestions as well. This one's going to probably be a little quick video because it is late. I just got home from work, so apologies. Now, um, real quick before we get started, as far as next week's video goes, there probably won't be a video done because I'm going on vacation. And because I'm going to be sharing a room with my parents, I probably won't have the space to actually set up what I need to set up. But there's going to be like a little maybe 5-minute video of, hey, this is how it's going. This is what to expect in next week's or the following week's video. Blah blah blah. All that good shit. So, getting started. If you know nothing about how to blend oils or make your own, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, there's a lot of beginners books out there to help you with just herbalism in general, as well as um, what oils to blend with what scent. Um, the the biggest thing is probably actually going to be this one. This one is strictly essential oils. It's called Mixing Essential Oils for Magic by Sandra. I'm going to butcher this last name. Keynes, something Kynes. And it's got what base oils you can use, how long they're going to last for, and what oils are actually best mixed with what intention. So the biggest thing to do is say you want to say you want to mix a scent for lust, right? The first one I'm probably going to do is get a piece of Jezebel root, like the actual root, not pre-made oil. Mainly because it's just a piece of bark. Using actual pieces of certain oils, not certain oils, certain plants or certain barks can actually help instead of using the oil form. Mainly because the oil forms are usually 100 or extremely more concentrated, right? So if you want to buy oils in bulk, you can. There's a few different websites that you can use, especially if you're wanting to ingest them. There are food grade oils that you can buy, but catchphrase time, do the fucking research. All right, do the research, actually see what oils can be mixed for human consumption. And honestly, I would probably get with a nutritionist to see what sorry, I wanted to light some more incense, to see what oils you can get. I wouldn't have thought those. The Goddess Canella TV just responded. Veritas, doTERRA, and Garden of Life. I'm probably butchering those names, but it's fine. Also, as far as just 100% essential oils goes, ones that you will not repeat, will not ingest, because if you ingest them, you're just dumb as a fucking bitch. If you ingest 100% concentrated oil from a plant, you will send your own ass to the hospital. So, like I said, if you're going to ingest certain oils, get with a nutritionist to see which ones your body can actually handle, please, because that's not going to be on me. That's going to be on you. So, that aside, um, if you want to buy your oils in bulk, I would say you can go to, and depending on the prices, you can do Mountain Rose. You can do Eden Botanicals if they have it. You can do Liberty Natural. They're pretty good, but um, their website's one of the ones that it just takes a minute for it to load, just because it's they're a good company. It's just the website itself is just awful trying to load everything because it takes frickin' forever. So I would say those as far as getting oils in bulk. 1 to 2 drops, not in water, mixed with a juice or a carrier oil you can swallow, like coconut or olive oil. Yeah, so I was actually going to get to that. For carrier oils, honestly, my biggest go-to is going to be olive oil, just because it's easier for me to find. And I honestly prefer not to use Amazon, but sometimes I'm going to have to. But you're going to need some pipettes, um, a few jars of a few different oils, or you can have get like 5 or 10 milliliter bottles of pre-bottled oils, right? Like if you want, I actually have one right here. So this is a bottle of Wormwood. Got it from my job, and you can do a few drops of that. You can do, if you can find it, preferably in oil form, some Whorehound. I don't even think they actually make Whorehound in oil form. I'll have to do some more research on that. And honestly, I would probably use a little bit of either calendula or Dittany of Crete, actual herb itself, mixed into the combo. There's a few different things that you also can do. And this oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, turns out we can't get Whorehound in oil form. Yay. So in that case, you can do Wormwood Oil, and this is also for specifically necromancy work. I'm also a necromancer, so I work a lot with the dead. So Wormwood is going to be one of my go-tos, right? For the oil, do Wormwood, myrrh, and yes, you can get myrrh in oil form. You just have to find it. Use virgin olive oil as a base, as a carrier oil. You can do, where's my brain at? The Bible. And the one thing I do like about this book is that the author in general actually has, I call it my big book of shit. If you ever come into the shop and you're asking me, oh, well, what's a good book for beginners to learn how to do blah, 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 I'm always going to say my big book of shit. It's called the Complete Book of Correspondences. It looks exactly like this because this is it. And it gives you everything from A to Z. It goes from abundance to leadership to learning to purification, psychic abilities, shamanistic work, travel, trust, and then it goes into plants, minerals, animals, gods, goddesses, deities, other mythical creatures, times of day, days of the week. My brain is going 100 miles an hour because of this shit. It's probably the best book I have ever bought in my magical practice. Just because it has so much in there that I just use on a daily basis. This one specifically goes into working with oils for it. It goes into the different kinds of oil, like there's lemon extracts, there's labdanum, there's coriander, blah 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 blah, and then you have carrier oils. Uh, what's best to make fragrances? Like, this book is probably going to be the best one to use as far as making your own goes, or mixing your own. So, going by references, let's do. Where'd I put you? Okay. She has it classified as the otherworld or underworld. So, oils to use are amyris, angelica root, anise or anise, cypress, fir, galangal. There's one that I cannot pronounce for the life of me, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Ginger, lovage, myrtle, neroli, myrrh, oak moss, oregano, patchouli, rose, snakeroot, spikenard, star anise or star anise, thyme, turmeric, valerian, and vetiver. So, little disclaimer, I will only ever use valerian root to sleep. That's it. Because it stinks to high hell and it lingers. The smell will linger for several days. No matter how much you air out the space, it will travel and it will soak into your clothes, and you're still going to smell it everywhere you go. Like, it smells god awful, like Satan's ball sack. It's no. If you're gonna mix valerian into anything, honestly, get the actual herb. It doesn't actually smell that bad. It's only in oil form and tea that it really kind of you can kind of smell it, but it's the oil. It just so there's that. But in certain cases, you can also use some honey as well. Not necessarily as a carrier oil, but to kind of give it a little stickiness to where, like, it'll stay. But main reason why I say honey is just because, from a necromancy standpoint, honey is actually very, very, very good in ritual work. So, getting your spirits and ancestors to help you on on paranormal investigations or demonic investigations, it it can help. It can help. So the best way you're probably going to want to use is only a few drops of each oil, right? Valerian from Nature's Way capsule, great dosage, won't smell or taste anything. Um, Interesting. So, with train of thought, with oils versus herbs, some oils are going to work better for making a ritual oil versus the herb version. And like we just found out, not all oils are actually available in, or not all herbs are available in oil form. Um, don't know why. It just doesn't happen. Um, I have a distiller to actually blend my own oils, but only problem is I would have to buy a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like a couple, probably a few pounds worth. And that gets expensive. That gets expensivo. So even just getting a little bit of oil, you have to use a fuck ton of that herb to even extract a little bit of it out. And it's time consuming. I don't recommend it if you have a full-time job and a family to take care of. Like that's one of the very many things that I will not recommend doing yourself. Just spend the money, spend the time, and actually look for it already made, because it's gonna get on your nerves just waiting for it to happen. Um, and with I would say with anything darker magic goes, um, I would say just use those two books to see what might work best with each other as far as blending goes, because some base oils are going to work better scent wise with different ones. um like for example, where's the thing all right, so as a base, frankincense and sandalwood work great with each other. um for the middle scent, lavender and sage would work best with each other. And then for the top scent is the scent that's gonna go away the fastest is hyssop, sage, and yarrow. So that's just a scent that will work best with each other. Now, yes, some herbs and some oils do actually coincide with each other, so they'll actually work for the same intention or for the same issue. But the problem being is, as far as scent wise, it doesn't always smell appealing. Um, if if you're gonna go demonology and necromancy work, honestly, I would say also get this one. All right, which is Book of the Dead. Christian just came out with the revised issue a few months ago. I got it. I have the original one sitting somewhere in this bookshelf, and it's probably one of the better necromantic books that I've owned. Um, and he has some of his own rituals in there and things that work best for him. And he also has a lot of the 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 main bigger known gods and deities, and also some of the lesser known ones. It's the way the oils and the recipes that he came up with are made. It works so well because he did the research. He knows what he's doing, and that's going to be true for anybody who actually does the research. For anyone who's interested at all in magical practice or the darker parts, is do the reading first, then experiment. See what works for you. See what works for what situation you're in. And honestly, do a couple of trial runs. You know, see if it's see how it is for a few days, and then change it up. See for another few days. See if it gets better. See if it gets worse or it doesn't change. Things like that. Um, like for me, when I made my Hades incense, I'm like, okay, so Hades, gotta be underworld, necromancy. Let's see, where can I combine those two, and what offerings of Hades can I actually contribute to that? Um, I'm still messing around with the actual ingredients, but one of the main ones is always going to be myrrh, and it's always going to be calendula, because calendula's used for connecting with the ancestors, and myrrh is good for contacting or calling spirits forward, um, as well as like cleansing a space for them. So with this one specifically, I use I don't know if you can see. Yeah, no, you can't see it, but I put some Dittany of Crete in there because of Greece. Hades is a Greek god, so it makes sense to have a Greek herb in it. Um, I keep doing those fucking ums. What the hell is wrong with me? But it's it's all about what is also going to work for you, but also what works best for the situation that you're doing. So again, I'm gonna get them out. Complete book of correspondences. I call it my big book shit. The mixing essential oils for magic. That's honestly, that's probably gonna more appeal to people who are into uh, um I do it alchemy. There we go. um Essential oils are going to be mainly focused on people who are interested in alchemy purposes. But I mean, it'll still work for people who aren't necessarily magically inclined. But it can still work. And then as far as necromancy goes, the Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day too. And also it's communicating with spirits. Come on, where did I put you? Uh, Communicating with the spirit. It's by Martin Coleman. I know the last name is Coleman. I think the first name's Martin. Um, yeah, Green Witch and Kitchen Witches too. For the oil magic stuff, and it's everybody's gonna find out what's gonna work best for them. Like personally, me, demonologist, necromancer, occultist, and everything else separate, right? I like the darker shit just because it makes sense for me. Like I'll never understand people who are fully love and light magic because I'm like it do you not realize that, back in the day, um if people fucked with your ancestors, do you not actually realize that the reason why we have property laws of if you trespass you can't actually shoot anybody anymore? I mean, it's still kind of a gray area, but it's if you even stepped foot on someone's property, didn't even knock on the door, like just walked on their property, they had the right to shoot your ass back then. It's nowadays you can't really do that anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure in some places in America you can. Those types of laws are still kind of broad, but it's very backwoods areas, and it's there's so many different reasons of why you should go into making your own ritual oils, but it also depends on whether or not you have the space for it, if you have the time for it, and all this other shit. So, say you want to say you're going on a paranormal investigation, right? If psychically, mentally, spiritually you want to feel protected as far as oils go, blend a couple of drops, and when I say a couple, I don't mean two. I mean figure out what proportions work for you. Um, Labdanum, rosemary, lavender, patchouli, and what's that other one? I think those are about it. Frankincense. There we go. Honestly, I would probably use the frankincense oil. And as far as the herb to put into it goes, you can either do some patchouli or some rosemary. Um, just as a if you wanted to put an actual herb in there, just it's going to be different for everybody. It's some people want to do a whole elaborate workstation type of deal to say like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm getting a little bit of this, I'm getting that. It's sometimes it's just not necessary. Sometimes you just have to be like, hey, give me that bottle, and just put it together. But as far as carrier oils, like I said, I would usually go with olive oil, virgin olive oil. You can go sweet almond, you can go jojoba, you can go if you can find it, sunflower oil too. It's just everyone's gonna have a different shelf life, so that's why I get olive oil is because I I can cook with it, but I can also, if I need it, I can do a quick ritual oil. You know, but sweet almond oil and also coconut oil too. Fractionated coconut oil is good too if you're gonna do a ritual base. But everything else I can't necessarily cook with, so financially anyway, it makes sense for me to have a bottle of olive oil on hand. You know, um, but if you're going to do some oils with different, if you don't want to do like an actual ritual oil with an oil carrier or carrier oil base, do either perfumer's alcohol or Everclear and use that as a base, because the way Everclear works is the alcohol or the yeah, the alcohol content is so high that it evaporates like that. It evaporates almost instantly. So mixing that with a little bit of water too, it, fractionated coconut oil, real quick, it does expire, but it takes a lot longer to expire. Um, it also depends on how much you're using. But yeah, it's also because the fat is extracted. Um, but getting to the the Everclear and the perfumer's alcohol, perfumer's alcohol doesn't have a scent. That's why a lot of colognes and things are going to have that as a base. I don't particularly like it just because it's just a personal thing for me. Um, and also Everclear is just a lot easier for me to get if I'm going shopping, um, or grocery shopping. So what you're going to want to do is, again, get you some pipets. I would say probably anywhere between the I think they sell the 15 milliliters, or like the ones that are long as hell. But the smaller ones are good for just getting the olive oil out. But get you some long pipets, fill it up with, I would, depending on the size, and you can kind of gauge it to what you're doing, get either one or two filled pipets of the Everclear, fill the rest up with water, and then mix in the oils last. But if you're going to do that, mix the oils themselves together first, let them soak in each other, and then add them to the mix. And then boom, you've got a spray. So it's, excuse me, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can make essential oils or essential ritual oils. Granted, yes, it does kind of take away from the oil part, but it's also just the simple fact of having it. You know, if for example you're running out of room in your in your duffel bag or your suitcase or whatever it is that you're bringing to an investigation, you can always pre-mix it beforehand, right? And apply it like you normally would a roll-on cologne or roll-on perfume, roll-on oil kind of deal. Put it around your neck, behind your ears, and depending on if you have the carrier oil as a base or Everclear, if you have Everclear as a base, put it, excuse me, put it in your hair too, and then also on your wrists. Um, but other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Uh, at least not anything else prepared for tonight. But because when it comes down to it, essential oils is very, very, very easy and quick to learn. You just have to find out what actually works for you. So, like I said, next week I will be on vacation. I'm leaving Friday. And depending on the time, I might not be able to even do a video, depending on exactly where I'm at. So, um, to keep in touch with whatever information I have, hit me up on Instagram. You can always message in the comments. And honestly, it's I'm always gonna have book suggestions, and things like that. So if, like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free, hit me up. Um, and like I said, I'll be gone from the. I'm leaving the 10th, and I'm not going to be back until like the 19th, of December. So I'm going to be busy. So I'm always going to be posting like, hey, do this is going to be a video best to go on next week's video or some other shit. Um, that do you even really need to ask that? Sorry, Canella just asked a pretty obvious question that why, madam? um, but yeah, like I said, just if you have any questions, hit me up. And that's it. All right. Enjoy the rest of y'all's night, guys. I'm getting off.